A final from Los Angeles, the final play-in game in the Western Conference. New Orleans wins it 105-101, an absolutely wild game in which the Clippers almost won this game without Paul George. Paul George had to sit out because of a testing positive for COVID-19. Look, both teams had double-digit leads. The Pelicans led by as many as 16. The Clippers led by as many as 13. The third and fourth quarters were absolutely ridiculous. Clippers outscored the Pelicans 38-18 in the third. Then it was New Orleans outscoring LA 31-17 in the fourth. As the Pelicans move on to play the Suns in the first round. Best of luck to you on that. Congratulations on getting to get knocked out by the Phoenix Suns. But how about Brandon Ingram in this game? He goes for 30 points, 14 of 21 from the floor. He played 43 minutes in this game. CJ McCollum, 19 points in this one. Look, Clippers almost rallied to win this game, and then they just couldn't hit shots down the stretch, and they fall 105-101. Bill Reiter told you to take the Pelicans. Kenny White told you to take the under. So our experts go 2 for 2 in both of the play-in games on Friday night. All right, back here with CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Reiter. What an absolutely bizarre, wild game. Both teams with double-digit leads. They give them up, and the Pelicans in the end win this game. What the heck happened?
Can we settle the debate that the last few days has shown us, and tonight the play-in was a great idea by the NBA. All right, so this is one of two things. Two teams that don't deserve to be in the playoffs fighting like hell to try to get there anyway, or two teams with an outside shot because they earned it, fighting like hell to get there anyway. What a game of runs. It looked like in most of the first half that New Orleans was going to run away with this thing. Then the Clippers take over at the end of the half. The entire third quarter looked like that's over. It looks like those of us that thought the Pelicans were going to cover were in big trouble. And as you noted, New Orleans makes an incredible run in the fourth quarter. It comes down to the wire, and several key players stepped up for that Pelicans team to get them to the next step. What a game.
How about Brandon Ingram dropping in 30
Beast.
for the Pelicans?
This is the guy he was supposed to be when he was drafted by the Lakers years ago, number 2 overall, dribbling out of and fighting through double teams, attacking the rim, hitting big shots. I know it's a cliche, but it was a big moment, and this guy down wasn't afraid of it. He was awesome.
Look, this Pelicans team, what did they start, 3-16?
They didn't. Yes, not well.
I mean, they started 3-16, and they found a way to get into the playoffs without Zion Williamson. If I had told you that before the season, the Pelicans would make the playoffs without Zion Williamson playing a single minute all season, what would you have said?
It's time for you to take some vacation.
I just came off vacation.
I would have told you need some time off. And all right, so you've got the box score heroes, and absolutely Brandon Ingram deserves to be celebrated. You've got the guy who's the big name, the biggest probably talent on the team, CJ McCollum, okay in the box score, had a good second half. Can I just shout out Herbert Jones, whose box score was something like 7 and 7 and 1, I think is what it was. This young man, this rookie, was a beast defensively, hit a huge 3 in the fourth quarter, and there was a moment, you and I talked about this watching the game, when it looked like the Pelicans were going to get blown out of the building as their lead collapsed, and it became a huge deficit where they had no energy, no intensity, and it was the rookie of everybody who came out and just was able to fire this team up and play like a veteran. What an interesting, exciting, bizarre basketball game.
Yeah, 7 points, 7 rebounds for the rookie Herb Jones.
Under the 15 and a half,
too.
Under
the 15 and a half points, rebounds, and assists
that
he had earlier in the day. Yeah, CJ McCollum, when he joined this team at the trade deadline, it was like this lift for them. He was able to come in and give them this veteran presence, and he recently said, I predict a lot of winning in our future. What does this say about this New Orleans team to get to this point without Zion?
And I think you hit on, I think that's the huge point. Not only did they do this without Zion, CJ McCollum was fine. I think he had 19 in the game. He had a couple big shots late in the game, but he wasn't the dominant player. He wasn't the most important player offensively. Brandon Ingram, as you noted and we've talked about. Herb Jones was the defensive specialist. And so to be able to do what they've done without any Zion, with CJ McCollum, the big acquisition from Portland, being fine but not extraordinary, I think tells you they're well coached, they have a good culture, and it's a fairly young team, for the most part, young and mid-level guys career-wise, who have enough self-belief not to collapse under the weight of what was a big lead they gave away, and obviously a win-or-go-home basketball game.
This Pelicans team has been somewhat fun to watch throughout this season, in games, out of games. They never feel like they're out of a game. They kind of felt like they were out of it.
They make it interesting.
And they came back and they won after being down by as many as 13 of the Clippers. They rally somehow in the fourth quarter to pull off the victory and advance to play the Suns in the first round. Best of luck.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, if you said, hey, the Suns is going to be a 4-game sweep, I wouldn't bat an eye.
I think it will be a 4-game sweep, and I think when we get done here, as much as I want to celebrate the Pelicans, I'm going to bet on it being a 4-game, maybe 5. Maybe the Suns will just chill for a game. Here's the thing. This Pelicans team played great, and they barely beat, but they earned that win against a Clippers team that's mediocre. That's why they're in this situation. Didn't have Paul George. The Suns are a totally different animal. It's a different level of dominance. Remember last year's Lakers team had LeBron James, sort of had Anthony Davis, had big expectations, and they lost in 6 to a Phoenix Suns nobody took seriously. That made the finals. This year's Suns team is better. Devin Booker has taken another step forward. They're obviously infused with that confidence. Pelicans had a great night. They're not going to have a great couple weeks and having to face that 1 seed that's going to dominate that series.
All right, so Pelicans and Suns starting on Sunday. Let's take a look at the rest of the schedule. The Western Conference playoff schedule is now set. The 2-7 matchup is Ja Morant and the Grizzlies facing Karl Anthony Towns and the Timberwolves. That's a phenomenal matchup there. Steph Curry and the Warriors against Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets in the 3-6 matchup. Then it's the Mavs who will be without Luka for at least game 1, trying to get by Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz in the 4-5 matchup in the Western Conference.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.